Today I'll be showing you how to build an AFK surface mimic farm like this one. First I'll show you how it works and then I'll show you how to build it. So this is a very simple mimic farm in design, but it's very effective. Essentially what's happening, the spawn surface is off screen. The spawn surface is in front of natural dirt walls. Those are required for the mimics to spawn. The mimics are getting aggroed by these arrow traps that are on both sides of this farm, because mimics will only aggro if they're attacked or if you're near them. And you need them to be aggroed to walk into the lava. They get killed by the lava, and that is pretty much it. You could build this farm by staying underneath if you want. I prefer to stay above because when you go underneath, then you have to close out all the caves and other potential spawn points for other enemies that can spawn down there. And pretty much the only enemies that are going to be spawning here during the daytime at least are the slimes, the gnomes, and the mimics. The dart trap kills those enemies, and the mimics can tank quite a few hits, but the lava eventually gets them. That's why I have the conveyor belts, because a lot of enemies will die from the dart traps if you don't use it, and there's a limit to how many items that can be on the screen at once. So just to make my life easier, I have the conveyor belt to collect the loot from the other enemies that die from the dart trap, and then it all pushes it into one spot inside the volcano. Then I just go down periodically, collect the loot, and that is pretty much the mob farm. So the first step to start building this mimic farm is to find somewhere in the forest biome. It helps if it's already pretty flat, but once you're in the forest biome, go ahead and start digging until you see these natural dirt walls. You also want to make sure you don't make it too close to your base, because we don't want any NPCs around, because they may influence the spawns of mobs, including the mimics. You're going to be digging out a huge flat area that incorporates a lot of the natural dirt walls that you find. You want it to be pretty wide. Around 200 blocks is a good start. So once you're done digging, it should look something like this. You'll have a nice hollowed out wide flat area. Now you're gonna go somewhere near the middle point, and you're gonna make these staircase patterns with these blocks. It can be about 10 blocks high, about 10 blocks wide. It's so that the mimics can't jump out or jump across the gap easily. Sometimes they can, but it's fine if they do. They usually just jump back inside anyway. Once you finish the stairs, go ahead and dump a couple buckets of lava inside. This is what's actually going to be damaging the mimics. Then we're going to go ahead and set up a place where we're going to stand above the farm. I find it easier to just use some ropes and then put a platform at the top. And while we're up here, we can go ahead and set up the artificial jungle biome to increase enemy spawn rates using either 140 lizard blocks or 140 jungle grass blocks. So the next thing to do is to wire up the timer and the dart traps. I have a repeated 1/4 second timer here, and you can wire the same timer to 2 different traps at once. We're doing this to aggro the mimics so that the mimics will travel to our location and fall inside of the lava when they spawn. Don't forget to hammer the blocks that you used for the staircase to make them sloped. I don't know if it makes much of a difference, because I think the enemies will walk up whether they're sloped or not, but I guess it doesn't hurt. Then you can just go back to the platform and start the timer to activate the dart traps. Don't forget to take the battle potions and put down the water candle for their increased spawn rates. And as I mentioned before, you can always use conveyor belts to bring all the loot to the center. This will make sure that you don't hit the loot limit of like 400 items that can be spawned at once before the old items start disappearing. That'll help you not hit that limit. And plus you can go underneath as well, like I mentioned before, and really make it AFK. And what I'm gonna also do, I'm gonna go ahead and show you the results of 30 minutes of being AFK using this farm. I'm gonna go in with a pretty much almost empty inventory, and then we'll see what I get after 30 minutes of using this farm. So here are the results after just 30 minutes of testing the farm. I did go down the rope a couple times to get the loot and popped a couple of battle potions. but I got so much of the mimic loot, plus a jungle key, plus a money trough was also full because I ran out of space. So it's pretty effective. I'm sure it's even more effective if you actually make it AFK and go underneath. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.